Alright, hey guys, I'm on here to ask a few questions. It's the second time that I've made this video because my phone decided to do something it's never done. While recording, just quit. So obviously I was saying something in my last video that some people probably don't want me to ask. These are questions. The media is controlled. It's been controlled for decades. You never hear on the news other than bad stuff. I mean, there's plenty of bad stuff going around on the globe, not just here in Florida where I'm at with the school shooting that recently happened. I hate when they get this small. They always get into your nose. Anyways, yeah, it's my one and only problem, smoking cigarettes. But, could be a lot worse. Anyways, the thing about everything, there's certain things like the Mandela effect. I'm not a conspiracist. I'm not going out here, trying to create a new trend with conspiracy theories or nothing like that. I'm just an average Joe. I've slowly gotten into this, this stuff, and I've just slowly, took a gobble look, just looked over there like, well, and gone back to what I was doing. And it's been for the past 5 years, slowly looking at all this stuff. Well, now I'm really starting to see changes because not only this Mandela effect affecting like small stuff in my life, like the Monopoly figure guy, money bags with the little spectacle, black mustache. It's different. Ventura Boulevard. It's Venter. It's never been Venter. I played Monopoly as a child through the mid-90s, all the way up until the early 2000s, and I have never heard of Venter Avenue. And then Cruella de Vil, not Devil, from 101 Dalmatians and 102 Dalmatians. I was a kid when those were brand new. I know it was put on the TV for months. I went and saw them in theaters with my mom. God rest her soul. That's coming on 5 years, and she's been dead. But even if she was alive and I showed her this, she would tell you, because she said the same thing back in 2010 with stuff. Now I've noticed the Milk Duds, when they first, in the 90s, when I was a kid, when you went and bought a fucking box of Milk Duds, it had a little Milk Dud in between each, milk and dud, separating them. That was one of their commercials. They're saying, oh yeah, the one that has a Milk Dud, the one that's separated, the one that's separated by a picture of its actual state. And they tried to make, how big a Milk Dud would be on the box. It was a thing. They tried to sell it to you. They were like, oh yeah, our candy is better than all the others because we actually have a real printed Milk Dud. That's how big your Milk Dud is. And when you open the box, your Milk Dud was the same size. I mean, even the small boxes, they were small Milk Duds. They weren't the same size as the ones in the boxes. At least I remember buying candy that way when I was a child. Now, I do have issues with my memory, but nothing like that. It's stuff that happens more relative, not, long-term memory. My long-term memory is great. My short-term memory is a little bit, but long-term and short-term are two different types of memories. Now, what I learned, that's what I learned. And I did that in my own research on Google and reading articles, reading stuff that was posted by research centers. I mean, I read all this stuff because I had nothing but time. And, I had a real bad thing to happen to me back in 2012 into 2013. So my life was went a totally opposite direction. And so I've had nothing but time sitting here. I've gotten stoned. And I've sat in my room, looked up stuff. I don't go out and do anything to get in trouble. So, You know, we all have our own way of coping with things. But anyways, this Mandela effect stuff. Now, we've all heard of Doctor Who and heard of, you know, Doctor Strange and, you know, all these movies with time traveling and stuff. I mean, hell, there's even footage from like the 30s and before and documented shit about people, you know, that you look at a picture of somebody that's standing, you know, with something like what I'm holding in my hand, but the opposite side of it right now in his hand. And he's dressed differently than all the other people with the hats and the, you know, the more Renaissance look to him. You know what I mean? We all, I mean, us older, crowded people, you know, I'm 25, I'm not that old, but people my age and well before remember their grandparents. I mean, they dressed differently. They had skirts, purple, you know, blouses and skirts and little freaking hats, you know, like sun hats with the flowers on them and shit. You know what I'm talking about. They dressed differently back then than we do now. I mean, if I was a woman, I would be caught dead or something like that. It's not very trendful. I mean, I'm not, you know, up to date on everything, but I mean, I'm average. And, you know, I got a little bit of style. I mean, I wear plaid stuff, you know. I got nice clothes, you know what I mean. I wear a little bit nicer things because I didn't grow up with them, you know. But I mean, I'm not, you know what I'm saying. The styling's different. And then you just spot this one random person standing there with sunglasses that aren't trendful at all. Like, did they even have sunglasses back then? It's like 1932 or 1928 or something up in Canada when they were opening a famous little bridge in this town, and they had all the people and they took a picture of all these people that stood there. And this one guy had like I would call it like a college, I don't know, Revenge of the Nerds. Has anybody ever seen that movie? Well, if you haven't, look it up. You know, just look at a small clip. Most of the haircuts in there, you know what I mean? Like Jerry Perms. Who the hell had a Jerry Perm back in 1920? No one. Can't tell me anyone was going to a barber shop. They didn't have salons like that. They didn't have salons. They had saloons, which is a bar. And they had, you know, barbers. When you went to get your hair cut or a close shave, you went to a barber. So, the barbers didn't do Jerry Perms. They didn't do them. So, this guy with curly hair like that, and, you know, just standing there with his modern style sunglasses and a thing in his hand, and he's taking, you know, it looks like he's taking pictures. You know, that's an original photo. You can't, you know, from 1928 or 1932. I can't remember the exact one. It was one of those two. But I remember seeing the photo. And I remember what the photo had. And I remember what the article was about. But, you know, and I've also read stuff about the Vatican. And, you know, just a whole bunch of things. It's so much. If you look at it as a broad picture, you're never going to see the entire thing. But think about this Mandela effect. Right? Now, the only reason I'm doing this is because it hit something very, very sentimental to me. And it hit me in, you know, at home. At my home. It hit me in my home. My home is me. Home is where you are. This doesn't make a home. This makes a home. Me. This makes a home. So it hit me here. I remember what day it was when my mother died. Now, I remember, but what it said on her death certificate, she died weeks after that. Now, I don't care. I know. I'm dead on no. I've never forgotten that date. That date, for the past 5 years, has been burned into my head. March 28th, 2013. February. It's in a month. Oh, fuck. But on her death certificate, it doesn't say March 28th. Now, this Mandela effect is starting to really fucking show itself to me. I don't care if it's showing itself to everybody else, but this is me trying to awaken people to what's really going on. Are you going to be a sheep? Or are you going to be who you are? I'm not a sheep. I don't follow. I do my own thing. I think everybody should do their own thing. Stop following the farmers. And stop being sheep and livestock. Open up and allow your mind to be open. Stop being closed-minded. There are bigger things out here, and there are way more things that are going on that you should know. We all should know. I alone can't fix this. We all need to stop making this a white, black, Mexican, Asian, Arabic. I don't care where you're from. We're all human beings. Doesn't matter what you look like. You don't see a calico and a calico cat and an all-black cat going to each other and wanting to fight because the calico has a different spot, a colored spot on its body. Come on, man. You don't see that. So why are we going to be that stupid? We're following in all of what they want us to do. Stop being a follower. Stop being sheep. Come on. I know humanity is smarter than that because I'm part of it. We're all part of humanity. So, go ahead, you can ridicule me, I don't care. I get enough shit from my family. My family don't give a fuck about me. All I have was my mom, and I barely had her, so. Like I said, I don't care if you ridicule me for whatever. I'm an average person, I make mistakes, just like the rest of us have. But I know you remember the date that your parents died. I know you remember each and every one of them in your family, what dates they died, especially when it hits very close. And I mean, your mom, your dad is close. Now, I want you to think about that. Each and every one of you think about that. When did your mom die? When did your dad die? I'm telling you, that's a date that you'll never forget. At least I know I didn't. I know the real date. I don't care what a piece of fucking paper from North Carolina or Virginia or whatever the fuck says. I know. I know because I lived it. It's my own history. So, this Mandela effect is fucking with every one of us. Sorry for the offensive and vulgar language, but you know what? I'm me, and it hits very close. It's very sentimental, and it's disgusting. It's disgusting to the degree that all of this stuff is going. Now, like I said, think about this. Why don't you look back and see when it could have happened to you? Because I guarantee you'll find quite a bit's going on. But this is my video. Peace out. Hope it got to somebody or got through to somebody.